Camouflaged under this nylon suit is the next version of Kia's Optima Saloon. In a few months' time, it will go on sale in the USA and Europe. But until then, Kia want to hide its design so that rivals can't steal their ideas. You can understand their secrecy. After all, they've spent 3 years and £100 million developing it. To get an idea of how much work that development process is involved, I have come to an extremely shiny building in Germany called the HMETC, Hyundai Kia Motors European Technical Centre, which is situated slap bang next to the Nürburgring, where the Optima is undergoing its final shakedown tests. But I haven't come here just to stand around and observe. I've actually come here to do a job, because someone at Kia wisely suggested that I be their official test driver for the day. And I love work experience. Test driving is a crucial stage of any new car's development because after months of mostly computer-controlled tuning, it allows real-world assessment of a vehicle's comfort, performance and handling. But it's not as simple as just getting in and going for a spin. Every test session has a specific aim. My boss for the day, Senior Engineer Michael Lugert, outlined the objective.
Here can we see the steering system as we used in the past, with the electric motor on the steering column, which always has some elasticity because of the high torque in this area. This is the new steering system for the new Optima, where the motor is mounted on the steering rack. And that leads to more precise steering.
Right, so your job's to calibrate that steering?
Yes.
OK.
Yeah.
All right. And my job would be to tell Kia whether I thought they'd got that calibration right. But before I got cracking, Michael had a word of warning.
The track is more than 20 kilometers long with a lot of corners, but it's not very safe. The safety margin is very low. If you then make some mistake or something happen, then there is almost no chance.
No pressure then. Right, OK. Is it time to get in the car?
I think so.
Yeah. I've driven hundreds of brand new cars before, but it was rapidly dawning on me that this situation was very different. Because this car isn't finished and I'm not driving it on normal roads, and I've got to analyse what I'm doing and not crash because it's worth several £100,000 because it's a pre-production car. So there's all these thoughts going on in my head. And Kia would be equally nervous because they'd taken a huge risk letting their car be tested on camera before it had been officially signed off. The next hour would decide if they'd made a wise decision. But at least I'd have some peace and quiet because Kia had hired the Nürburgring exclusively for my assessment. Not many people have had that privilege. The idea of bringing a car like this and testing it at the ring is actually to accelerate the R&D, because 1 kilometre on the Nürburgring is equivalent of 17 kilometres on a normal road during normal conditions. Everything's pushed to the max. But although I'm on a high-performance track, that doesn't mean the Optima has to perform like a high-performance car. Remember, this is a D-segment saloon. Remember who the people are that are going to buy this over a Mondeo or a Passat or an Insignia. What do they want? How do they want the car to behave? Not do I want it to try and lap the ring at 6 minutes 40 like a radical. You want the comfort of the Passat, you want the steering of the Insignia, you want the road holding of the Mondeo. One section of the track that would test the car, and me,
was the notorious carousel.
Go down low, keep low, don't go high.
With the bend successfully negotiated, I could continue my assessment. As well as the steering, I'd also been asked to evaluate the suspension.
Here we go, compression time. Yes, it doesn't need to be any softer, the suspension. I think it's extremely comfortable. Now, I'd like the steering to be a little bit sharper, and I'd like the suspension to be a little bit harder, especially at the front. The back seems to be following around okay. It's almost a bit too comfortable and laid back. It's a bit easy listening.
My test drive over, Kia's engineers immediately stripped the car down to look for wear and tear to the components. Then came the difficult bit, my debrief with Michael.
So what are your impressions?
I thought that there was a tendency to understeer the speeds I was going.
Yes.
So what, say 100 kph?
Yep.
It would be interesting to get a bit more of a firmer feel to steering. There's not a great deal of body roll. It's quite a good body composure.
Yeah.
I'd want slightly stiffer damping on the front, and I'd want slightly firmer steering, but only 10%.
Yeah.
That is as good as analysis as I can give.
Yeah.
That really is. I know I'm finding it really difficult.
Yeah.
So, would Michael agree with my findings or rubbish them completely?
I think you did a good job, yeah, because you find the weak points we also identified, and we are just
You're addressing them.
Yeah, addressing and just improving.
It'd be interesting to see what it's like as a finished product.
Yeah.
This has been a great thing to do, because this is something I've never done. I feel like I've infiltrated the secret zone.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I thank you for your feedback.
It's been great.
Yeah.
It's been really good.
The 40 miles I'd driven the Optima today was a drop in the ocean compared to the thousands of test miles the car will cover before its public release. Will it be a sales success? That I can't answer. But this I do know. Kia are doing everything possible to achieve that outcome.
I'm going to be in an RX150. Jason Plano against Troy Bayliss. Who would you put your money on here? This is going to be tight. What has Troy Bayliss got? He's